So as always with all of my classes, we always start with a little bit of breathing, just so we can get a little bit of focus and concentration for your class ahead. So let's bring the arms down by your side, knees and feet in line with our hips. Feel the hips nice and relaxed, tension out of those hip flexors up the front of the thighs, back of the pelvis, sinking down into the floor. Take the tension away from your lower back of the rib cage heavy, and then just relax through the shoulders and open up through the chest at the front. So we'll start with our breathing. So let's take a breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And again, breathing in and out. Let's do one more. Focus on our breath into the sides, onto the back of the rib cage. As we breathe in and breathe out, to let the rib cage soften in and down. Good. So let's take a breath in. As we're breathing out, just find our connection through our core muscles. So we lift up through our pelvic floor and think of tightening a belt around your waist. As we breathe in, just let the tummy relax. And again, let's do it one more time. Breathing out, pelvic floor lifts. Think of tightening the corset, or gently drawing tummy button gently down towards the spine, and then breathe in and relax. I lost my breathing then. So we're going to take that into little pelvic tilts next. So our pelvis in a nice neutral position, tailbone heavy. We take a breath in. As we breathe out, little pelvic tilts. So pelvic floor lifts, cores engaging. We lower the low back down towards the mat. And then we're going to release back to neutral, tailbone nice and heavy. So just a small movement. So it's just the pelvis tucking under, the lower back releasing. So the rest of the spine stays nice and still. There's no movement through the muscles in the chest, the arms, the shoulders. So just the low back moving, creating space through the lumbar vertebra as we tuck the tailbone under. And then we're going to release back to neutral, tailbone nice and heavy. So we're going to take that up into a hip roll. So as we're breathing out, we're going to tuck under. Our core muscles are engaged and drawing hips towards our ribs. And then we're going to slowly peel the spine up off the mat until our weight is resting across our shoulder blades. We take a breath into here to stay. And as we breathe out, we're going to roll back down bone by bone, soften through the breastbone. As we melt the spine down into the floor, rolling down through imprint into neutral. And again, so we're breathing out, we tuck and roll. Pushing down evenly through both of your feet. So you want to feel that triangular base of support and a gentle squeeze through our glute muscles. Take a breath in at the top and breathing out, we're going to roll back down. So just giving some nice movement through the spine, especially through the lumbar spine. Just feel the vertebra nice and open. Into neutral. Let's do this one more time. So we're breathing out, we tuck and roll. Cores gently engage as we peel the spine up off the mat. Remaining open through the chest, shoulders relaxed. Take a breath in and think of reaching with the knees. And then breathe out. We're going to roll back down, bone by bone. We roll through our imprints into neutral. And then from here, we're going to bring the legs together. So gentle engagement through your inside thighs. We're going to keep the feet and knees stacked, arms out to the side. And then we're going to drop both knees over, or both legs over, I should say. Look in the opposite direction as we breathe in. Breathing out. Draw back to centre, eye gaze straight up towards the ceiling. Other side, we breathe in, we take the legs over, keeping the opposite shoulder blade glued to the mat. Don't allow the opposite shoulder to lift off, and draw it back. And again, over to one side, we look in the opposite direction. So I want you to imagine you can use your tummy muscles, so those opposite oblique muscles, to draw back. So think of that rib-hip connection on that opposite side to draw the legs back to centre. Other side, up and over. So just giving some nice gentle movement through your lumbar spine. So do try and keep as much of the back of the rib cage down on the mat as possible. Let's do one more. That's it. And breathing out. Legs back to centre. Eye gaze is straight up. I'm going to lift the arms overhead. So we're going to do a little roll up to come up into sitting. So you're more than welcome to turn onto your side to come up, or we lift the arms up towards the ceiling. We're going to peel the spine up off the floor. Either keep reaching with the arms, or you can place the hands around the back of your thighs to help yourself come up. Reach the arms forwards. We're going to come up into our half roll back. So feet and knees in line with our hips, arms reaching out in front. So imagine you're holding a big beach ball. Open up through the chest. We're going to lengthen up through the spine and then slide those shoulders down towards hips. We're sitting high on our sit bones. As we breathe out, scoop out the tummy round through the spine. So we're tucking the tailbone under as we're rolling back. So just roll back to wherever is comfortable for you. And then we breathe in. We're going to restack the spine all the way up into sitting. Crown the head up to the ceiling. Drop the shoulders down. And again, we're breathing out. Ice cream scoop to the tummy as we're rolling behind the sit bones. Try and keep both feet on the floor if you can as you're rolling back, keeping the tailbone tucked. And then we're going to lengthen back up. So as we lengthen up, we're going to start from the lower back first. Lengthen up through the mid back, the upper back, shoulders, head balances nicely on top. And again, breathing out, scoop out the tummy round through the spine. So a nice long, slow movement with nice control. So you can get to that nice movement and mobility through the spine, and at the same time we're working through our abdominal muscles. So let's do that one more time. Breathing out, scoop out the tummy round and through the spine. So we're making a C shape with the spine as we're rolling back. This is a nice little warm up to do before we do rolling like a ball. And lengthen up. So we're going to roll back, so just make sure you've got enough room behind you, into our half roll back. Bring the feet in a little bit closer towards your hips. Lift one leg up into tabletop and then the other leg. So we're going to do rolling like a ball. So you can either leave the arms out in front, or you can have the arms or the hands behind back of the thigh. So we breathe in. We're going to keep the spine rounded as we roll back. Breathing out. We're going to come back up into that balanced position. Weight just behind your sit bones. And again, we're breathing in to roll back and out to come back up. So we're going to keep with this movement. So as we're rolling back, we roll back just onto our shoulder blade. So please be mindful that you do not roll back onto your neck. And as we do roll back, we want to keep the chin gently tucked. So we don't want the head coming down onto the floor, because then you're going to find it really hard to come to get that momentum to come back up into onto our sit bones. Whoop. And again, let's do this 2 more times. Breathing in, keeping that rounded spine. Breathe out, find your balance. And one more, breathing in and out. Excellent, pop the feet down. And from here, if you need to sit on a cushion, sit on a cushion. I'm going to bring the legs out in front. If it's comfortable for the hamstrings and the low back, please bring your legs together. Feet are flexed, or you can have them apart if that's more comfortable too. Sit on a cushion. If that's still not very comfortable, cross your legs. So arms out in front, high up on our sit bones. Let's first off lift the shoulders up towards your ears and slide the shoulders down. We'll open up through the front of the chest. So we do our spine twist with bow and arrow arms. So from here, keeping the legs nice and still, we're going to bend through one elbow as we rotate through the waist. Follow fingers with your eye gaze as you take the arm back. Open up through the chest. Draw the arm forwards. So the other arm stays nice and still as you move and rotate. Looking back. Reach. Draw it forwards. So we're just rotating through the waist. So I'm going to try and keep the legs as still as possible. So just imagine that you've got your lower body encased in concrete. Or you can imagine that you've got your feet up against a wall. So we don't want any shifting
of the legs, moving forwards and backwards like this as we rotate through the spine. So if you're finding you come up into your upper trap shoulders, you can take that arm quite low to the floor just to keep the tension out, or keep it in line with your shoulders. Let's do one more. Bending through the elbows, we're reaching back. Feel nice and open through the chest. Draw the arm forwards from here. Take a breath in. Breathing out, we're going to roll all the way down onto our back. So we're going to tuck the tailbone under. We're going to roll back nice and slowly onto our back, or you can just turn onto your side to come down onto the floor. So from here, we're going to turn onto our front. That's it. On our front, you can put a little pad underneath your forehead if you want to, or forehead down onto the mat. Legs together, if it's more comfortable, have them apart. Relax the shoulders forwards. Let's have a gentle engagement through our core muscles to begin. So as we breathe out, we're going to lengthen up into a little hover. So draw the shoulder blades in towards the spine as we lengthen and lift. And then we're going to relax it back down as we breathe in. Let the shoulders rest. We open up through the front of the chest, palms face in towards the body. The arms and hands are coming up off the floor as we lengthen into our hover. Think of reaching fingers towards your toes. And then we're going to release it back down. And again, lengthen away and lift. So if you do feel this in your lower back, it means you're coming up too high. I want you to be feeling this in your mid-back, mid and upper back, but mainly around where your bra strap would be. So think of the bottom tips, the shoulder blades drawing in towards the spine as you lengthen and lift. And relax it down. And release. Let's do this one more time. Open up through the chest as we lengthen and lift. And then we're going to relax it back down. So it's a great one to do for posture. So from here, we're going to bring the hands underneath the forehead, so just bend through the elbows. Widen your legs about hip distance apart and turn the legs out. So a gentle squeeze through your glute muscles. And we're just going to do a few leg lifts. So first off, we're going to slide the shoulders down. So from here, as we breathe out, we're going to lengthen and lift one leg up off the floor. And breathe in, we're going to lower the leg back down. Breathing out, other side. And lower it down. So if you want to, even the hands on the floor, you can lengthen into a little extension if you want to work through the upper back muscles again. So in this position, slide the shoulders down as you lengthen and lift one leg at a time. So you want to maintain the legs gently turned out. They're nice and straight, and think of reaching with the toes. And now I want you to focus into your hip bones. So as we're lifting one leg up, you want to try and keep that even weight distribution through both of your hip bones on the floor. So what we're doing is really working into deeper stabilising muscles around the lower spine. As well as if you're up in extension, you're working your postural muscles throughout your entire back. Let's do one more. Brilliant. And then lower down. So from here, we leave the legs where they are, and then we're going to extend the arms overhead. Relaxing the head down towards the floor. So we're going to do our swimming. We're going to lift opposite arm and leg. So we take a breath in. As we breathe out, opposite arm and leg reach and lift, and then lower back down. Other side, reach and lift, and lower back down. So if this is a little bit too much for the arms, you can bend through the elbows and lift up with bent elbows. But I want you to try and maintain the shoulders square to the mat as you're lifting the upper body up, as well as the even weight distribution through both your hip bones on the mats. So you can either leave the head hovering up off the floor as you lower the arms down, or you can lower the forehead all the way down to the mat. I'll leave that up to you. Maintain a nice length through your neck as you draw the shoulder blades down towards your hips. And let's do one more. And down. So bring the legs together, push yourself back to a shell stretch. So bottoms towards your heels, into our shell stretch. So arms overhead if you want to, or have them down by your side. Just to give the spine a gentle stretch after doing the extension work. Really focus your breath into the back of the rib cage, into the spine, feel it nice and open. And from here we're going to roll up and come into a side seated position. So we're going to do 3 side bends. I'll do 1 prep, so you can either do them all 3 on one side preps, or do 1 prep and 2 full. So legs are bent, bottom leg on the floor, top leg over, ankle in front, hand in line with hip. We're going to start by lifting up out of this supporting shoulder. So this needs to maintain nice and strong. So we put a lot of our body weight onto our shoulder joints. Other arm reach into the side. So we take a breath in. So our prep first, breathing out, push down into the hand, lift up through the shoulder as we come up and over, keeping the lower leg on the mat into a side bend. Take a breath in, stay, and out. Slowly lower down with nice control. That's it. So you can either carry on like that or come all the way up. So I'd advise to lengthen the legs in the way a little bit if you're going to come all the way up. So we're breathing out, straighten up through the legs into our side bend. Take a breath in to stay. Breathing out, we're going to bend through both knees as we slowly come down. Keep lifting up out of that supporting shoulder. Brilliant. And again, so we're breathing out, pass through the prep. Keep the legs turned out, squeeze the glutes as we come up and over. Take a breath in to stay, and out. You come all the way down. I'm going to swing the legs over, and we'll go to the side. So either keep to your preps, or you can try the full. Supporting shoulder nicely lifted, take a breath in, breathing out into our prep first. Making sure we're lifting up out of the shoulder, into stay, and out. Lower back down. So I'm going to go to the full, so you can shuffle the legs a little bit further away if you want to. Breathing out, we'll push up, keep the legs turned out, squeeze the glutes as we lift up and over into that little rainbow shape with the body. And as we breathe out, we're going to slowly come down with control. Try not to flop down, and we'll do 1 more. So as we breathe out, squeeze the glutes, keep the legs turned out, find your balance, keep that support shoulder nice and strong, and out. Come all the way down. Beautiful. So from there, let's come cross-legged. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me better. So cross-legged, if that's not comfortable, you can have the legs like this, feet together, knees are bent. You're almost also welcome to put a cushion underneath your bottom as well, just to help keep the strain out of hips and back. So I'm going to pop the arms out to the side, palms facing forwards. So from the waist up, we're going to chin to chest, round down through the spine, bring the arms forward as if you're hugging a big beach ball. So the low back doesn't move. I'm going to lengthen it back up, restack the spine, arms out to the side, and from here I want you to lengthen up through the spine, lift up through the crown of the head and shine the breastbone up to where the ceiling meets the wall as you take the arms slightly back. So you might feel a bit of a stretch through the chest at the front if you're feeling a bit tight. Lengthen up, spine in neutral, breathing out, rolling down. So just the mid and upper back. Hug the beach ball. Lengthen up through the spine, reach the arms out to the side, lengthen up through the spine. Being mindful that we don't crunch at the back of the neck, so keep length through the back of the neck. Eye gaze to where the ceiling meets the wall. Take the arms a little bit further back if you can. And then come back, sit up nice and tall, and lower the arms down. Brilliant, good work.